I am Veiled Rich, welcome to my channel. I will share some little stories with you. If you enjoy them, please give a like and support, thank you. My husband has awakened to a charismatic physique. His voice has become tender and enchanting, and his skin has become exceptionally delicate, panting softly with every few steps. All men are bewitched by him. He complains on his lips, but secretly rolls with his male boss. But what he doesn't know is that I gave him this charismatic physique. I can take it back at any time. At 3 in the morning, Lin Heng finally came back, holding his buttocks. He was obviously startled when he saw me sitting on the sofa. Wife, why are you still not asleep? I smiled gently and took the coat from his hand. As expected, it was already filled with the scent of another man. I can't sleep, waiting for you to come home. I sighed and said, after all, you are now a charmer, and I always worry that someone has ulterior motives for you. Lin Heng gave a dry laugh. Wife, you are too nervous. I am a straight man. Even if they want to do something to me, I will not agree. I nodded and pretended not to notice the hickey on his neck. Seeing that I didn't suspect, Lin Heng let out a sigh of relief. He led me to the bedroom. Just then, his phone made a ding sound. The screen lit up, and I saw a message from a person with a note. Before I could see it clearly, Lin Heng quickly turned off the screen. He looked at me guiltily and rushed into the bathroom with his phone. I savored the meaning of these few letters. The love of my life. There are many men pursuing Lin Heng, but few can get into his eyes. I am really curious, who is the man who Lin Heng noted as the love of his life? I'm afraid it's the man who played with him tonight. I picked up the coat he had just taken off and found a note in the pocket. The handwriting is flowing, strong, and it is obviously a man's handwriting. Do you want to know how sexy your husband is? Tomorrow at noon, come to my office. I calmly tore up the note. It turned out to be Lin Heng's boss. Among the many pursuers of Lin Heng, he is the richest. Thinking of the several big-name suits in Lin Heng's wardrobe, and the Rolex hidden in the sock organizer, the smile on my face deepened. Men in love are really low IQ. I was originally worried about not being able to catch his handle, but now it's good. He has sent it to me himself. The next day at noon, I appeared at the appointed place on time. The office door was slightly ajar, revealing a gap, and the ambiguous sound inside came clearly to my ears. Be gentle, honey. The man chuckled and joked. Baby, with this appearance of yours, are you not afraid of being discovered by your wife? As if stimulated by my name, Lin Heng panted for a long time without a sound. I rolled my eyes unceremoniously. I am also a link in your feelings, right? I directly pushed open the office door and walked in. In the room, Lin Heng was in a hurry to get down from the man's lap. Wife, why are you here? I crossed my arms and leaned against the door, enjoying his embarrassment. I came to see how my husband is someone else's wife. Lin Heng's face turned red abruptly. His face was still filled with lust, and even his whole body was red and white, like a juicy peach. His appearance obviously pleased the man behind him. The man showed a cold smile with the signature of a domineering president. He looked at me and said concisely, "Divorce. He is mine." I was angry and laughed. Are you not afraid of my revenge for doing this? The man looked disdainful. I have investigated you. Ordinary appearance, ordinary education, and an orphan. Do you think you have the capital to compete with me? Orphan. It seems that he didn't investigate deeply enough. I looked at Lin Heng, who was standing aside with his head down, not daring to make a sound. He wants you to divorce me, do you agree? I thought Lin Heng would eagerly agree, but unexpectedly, Lin Heng shook his head. His eyes filled with tears. He looked stubbornly at the man. I don't agree. He recited a line from a certain TV drama affectionately. Mr. Fong, can you let me go? Go where you should go. I live the life I should live. His appearance made the man feel bad. Only I was disgusted by him and got goosebumps all over. Is this playing the trick of pretending to be hard to get again? On the other hand, the two have already hugged each other. Lin Heng is still struggling and making a fuss. Don't take advantage of me anymore. I only have my wife in my heart. I rolled my eyes directly. If he hadn't made a note of the person he loves in his life, maybe I would really believe it. I said sarcastically. What are you pretending? Didn't you just have a good time? And yesterday, you didn't come home until 3 in the morning, and now you are standing up a chastity arch. It's really shameless. Lin Heng was ridiculed by me, and the man on the other side was puzzled. 3 in the morning? I sent you home at 11 o'clock last night. His expression changed abruptly, and he grabbed Lin Heng's neck. Say, did you go out and fool around with other men? I was also taken aback. Lin Heng is cheating on 2 men at the same time. Just got down from the boss bed and then lay in the warmth of other men. Wonderful, it's wonderful. I really want to ask him, can your butt stand it? Thinking this way, I asked it out. The man was obviously stimulated by me and shouted at me to shut up. He asked Lin Heng with red eyes, I am so rich and treat you so well, why do you still want to seduce others? Lin Heng was strangled by him, and the choking feeling made him unable to say a word. I still added fuel to the fire. Mr. Lin, there are more men in the world than you who are rich. You can't let my husband die on you alone, right? Actually, I can understand. Men always like the stronger ones. What if that person is not only richer than you but also better than you in that aspect? The man was obviously more angry. The strength of his hand is getting stronger and stronger, and Lin Heng is strangled by him, almost fainting. At this moment, a tear slid down the corner of Lin Heng's eye. The charmer is indeed a charmer, just a tear has fascinated the man. He was heartbroken and quickly released the hand that was holding Lin Heng. Lin Heng cried pitifully. Feng Bayi, why would you rather believe this woman's words than believe me? I. He looked at Feng Bayi with a pause, and then ran out sobbing. Feng Bayi's heart was broken, and he hurriedly chased after him. I was amazed. Good acting, it's really good acting. Love, it's really love. If Lin Heng wasn't my husband, I would have to kowtow to them. But why does the name Feng Bayi sound so familiar? I remembered. Feng Bayi, isn't he my mom's little boyfriend? My mother, a single rich woman worth more than $1 billion. Since she divorced my dad, she has been dating many boyfriends, among which her favorite and the longest one is Feng Bayi. If I remember correctly, Feng Bayi's family is ordinary, and without my mother's help, he would not have become the general manager. I never thought that he would dare to betray my mother and play office under my mother's nose with Lin Heng. What's more, he has been deceiving my mother from the beginning. My phone suddenly rang with a ding sound, and I received a message from Lin Heng. He has agreed to the divorce, and from today, he is mine. Picture. I opened the picture and saw Lin Heng with tears on his face, shyly hugging and kissing Feng Bayi. And Feng Bayi stared straight at the camera, as if to declare sovereignty to me. I almost vomited. What's the use of Lin Heng's consent? I haven't agreed yet. What does he think I have to divorce if he agrees? I won't agree to divorce before Lin Heng is ruined. What, your husband had an affair? I said you have a bad vision. How did you find such a thing? On the other end of the phone, my mom mocked me fiercely. She would never agree to me marrying Lin Heng at first, and even threatened to cut off our relationship, but I was fascinated by Lin Heng's sweet words at the time and actually agreed. Now I wish I could go back in time and kill myself for being in love. I sighed helplessly and asked her to help me check who Lin Heng was with last night. On the other side, my mom's chin was about to drop. A man, the third party is a man. Is he a fraudster? I rubbed my forehead, not telling her that the person my husband cheated with was not just one, but also her favorite little boyfriend. Now is not the time to tell her. I didn't expect that I would let Lin Heng and Feng Bayi go for the time being, but they took the initiative to come to me. My mom called and said she was going to marry Feng Bayi, and Feng Bayi proposed to meet me. It's not hard to understand, after all, I am the only daughter of my mother, and he naturally wants to have a good relationship with me. But I didn't expect him to be so shameless. Clearly, he has fallen in love with Lin Heng, but he still wants to marry my mom. This is too greedy. I spat in my heart while agreeing. I want to see what kind of expression he will have when he sees me. The next evening, I arrived at the appointment on time. My mom was smiling like a flower and told me to hold back my temper later, don't scare people. She also said that Fang Bayi would bring his assistant. His assistant is naturally Lin Heng. I hinted that it's just a family dinner at home, do you need to bring an assistant? My mom obviously didn't get it. He is busy with a lot of things every day, what's wrong with bringing an assistant? I couldn't bear to look away. I finally understood what my mom looked like when I insisted on marrying Lin Heng. It should be the same as what I am now. Thinking this way, there was a sudden knock on the door. My mom shyly went to meet him. The door opened, and the voices of Fang Bayi and Lin Heng sounded. They chatted with my mom for a while, then brought the topic to me. I had my back to the door, so they didn't see my face. This is Xiao Dai, right? The footsteps came closer, and a man's hand was on my shoulder. Hello, I am Fang Bayi, also your mother's fiancé. I sneered, expressionless, and turned around. I met Fang Bayi's face. The atmosphere solidified instantly. Lin Heng exclaimed, how are you here? I raised my eyebrows and said, this is my home, why can't I be here? My mom looked at me and then at Lin Heng, puzzled. Do you know each other? I raised my eyebrows at Lin Heng. Why don't you introduce yourself? Lin Heng's face turned pale and whispered, Mom. My mom's face turned cold instantly. She said sarcastically, so it's you. Facing the man who eloped with her daughter and then cheated, she naturally couldn't put on a good face. On the other hand, Fang Bayi is worthy of having a thick-skinned face, and quickly adjusted his expression. Nice to meet you. He reached out his hand, wanting to shake hands with me. I rolled my eyes directly. What, want to act as if nothing happened before? How could it be possible? I directly opened his hand. Before climbing high, please weigh how much you weigh. Those who want to climb up by women have no qualifications to be my stepfather. In an instant, the room was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. My mom understood everything. So the man your husband cheated with is him. I hooked the corners of my mouth. Not only that. Now my mom is completely angry. She directly called the bodyguard and carried Lin Heng and Fang Bayi out. Before being swept out, Fang Bayi was still protecting his little wife. Don't you talk nonsense, Xiao Heng is not such a person. He is pure and kind, and he can't tolerate a bit of dirt in his eyes. How could he possibly hook up with others? I laughed out loud. I haven't seen Fang Bayi in a few days, and he has been more fascinated by Lin Heng. I don't know what kind of bewitching soup Lin Heng has given him. I asked back, if he is really pure and kind, how could he cheat? Fang Bayi was blocked by me and couldn't say a word. Lin Heng broke free from the bodyguards and rushed up to hug my leg. Now he finally understood everything. He cheated on Fang Bayi for money, and then he knew I was richer than Fang Bayi. How could he not regret it? Xiao Dai, forgive me, Xiao Dai. I didn't mean to. He forced me. He threatened that if I didn't obey him, he would fire me. I can't be fired, I still need to save money to buy a big house for you. I patted his face with a sneer. You can deceive buddies, but don't deceive yourself. Buying a house for me, will you write my name on the property certificate? Lin Heng looked around, looking at my luxuriously decorated villa, and revealed a touch of greed in his eyes. Xiao Dai, as long as you forgive me, I can write your name on the property certificate. I rolled my eyes without any politeness. You think beautifully, don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Do you want to eat the only child, right? I won't give you the chance. Besides, I don't care. Lin Heng's face gradually became gray. I slammed the door with a bang. I still underestimated Lin Heng's shamelessness. After learning that I was a rich second generation, he refused to divorce me. Wife, I really don't like Fang Bayi, he forced me. From the beginning to the end, I only love you. Forgive me, let's live a good life, okay? Now he still dreams that I can forgive him. I have already seen through his true face, and I naturally know what he is thinking. Since Fang Bayi can't climb up my mom, he will hold on to me even more desperately. Even for money, he doesn't even want to face it. I'm afraid that in his eyes now, I am a shining money tree. I sneered and replied. You cannot divorce, you first break up with Fang Bayi. Then, I directly blocked and deleted a non-stop service. I want to see what reaction Fang Bayi will have after being abandoned by Lin Heng, who is bewitched. The good play has just begun. Tempted by money, Lin Heng quickly broke up with Fang Bayi. Fang Bayi's dream of relying on a rich woman just shattered, and he was hit again. He failed to reconcile and actually called me. He roared on the other end of the phone, questioning me. Did you force him to break up with me? You're such a wicked woman? I said casually, so what he still obediently listened to me. Fang Bayi was obviously stimulated by me. He said in a fit of anger, even if you get his person, what can you do? You will never get his heart. He likes men. I laughed out loud. Whether Lin Heng likes men or not, I know better than him. If he really likes men, how could he have been ambiguous with many women shortly after our marriage? I gave him a chance. I told Lin Heng that the charismatic physique will make all the men around you fall in love with you, which will help your work. He believed it. Not only that, he was also excited and hugged me, saying my wife is so good. I was hugged by him, almost vomited. At the same time, I decided in my heart, if he holds the bottom line and doesn't mess around, I will let him go. But if he really betrayed me and used the charismatic physique to flirt, then he would be counterattacked by the charismatic physique. After all, there is a word called love turns into hate. I'm waiting for the day he is swallowed by hatred. On the other end of the phone, Fang Bayi is still talking incessantly. He keeps listing the small things between him and Lin Heng, trying to prove to me how much Lin Heng loves him. I directly sent him the screenshot of Lin Heng's request for reconciliation. I also reminded him that my mom has already fired him. He is now not only without a source of income, but also facing a mortgage and a car loan, and his wife has also run away with someone. Fang Bayi was completely broken, cursing at me. He was crying and laughing, almost crazy. I hung up the phone directly. When people are forced to the end, they can do anything. I'm looking forward to his counterattack. Lin Heng disappeared. He seemed to have evaporated from the world suddenly, and no one could contact him. Only I know where he is. At this time, Fang Bayi is sitting in front of me. He seems to have returned to his usual polite and gentlemanly appearance, looking at me. Miss Chu, I misunderstood you before, I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive my previous rudeness. I stared at his disguise with interest. Not scolding me anymore. He smiled. It's all a misunderstanding. If that bitch didn't deceive me, I wouldn't have come to this point. He flashed a trace of hatred in his eyes and said, I hope you can let me go. I said with a smile, it's easy, but you have to tell me where Lin Heng is first. His expression stiffened for a moment, then he said with a forced smile that he didn't know. We have already broken up, and I haven't seen him for a long time. Really? I pretended not to see the scratch on his neck. I will let my mother loosen her mouth, but you are not allowed to return to work at Chu's company. As for whether other companies are willing to hire you, it depends on your own ability. After achieving the goal, Fang Bayi quickly got up and took his leave. I looked at his back and couldn't help but remind him. When you're torturing him, remember to take a video for me. Fang Bayi's steps paused for a moment, then he left without turning his head. I already knew that Lin Heng was locked up by Fang Bayi. It's all written in the novel. And as long as I investigate a little, I can find out that the last place Lin Heng disappeared was Fang Bayi's home. My mother was very angry when she heard about it. She called and questioned. Did you let that scum go? Why are you afraid that he can't find a job and won't have money to feed your husband? I sneered and said, how could it be possible? I'm just worried that if I push Fang Bayi too hard, it will ruin my plan. What if Fang Bayi can't find a job and is even in a situation where he can't afford to eat? He loves Lin Heng deeply and naturally won't let Lin Heng starve to death. He will only let Lin Heng out. In order to let my husband suffer a few more days, I will not only not suppress Fang Bayi in the coming days, but also provide him with some financial support. And this does not mean that I have let Fang Bayi go. I will let everyone who has hurt me fall into disgrace. Lin Heng's parents couldn't contact their son for a long time and finally realized that something was wrong. This made them very anxious. Lin's mother called me, and as soon as I answered the phone, I heard her scolding me. It's nothing more than scolding me for not being able to keep a man and not being able to find my own husband. Her words were harsh, and I was used to it. Ever since I started dating Lin Heng, she has always looked down on me, so she often picked on me. At that time, I was fascinated by Lin Heng's sweet words and naturally didn't want to argue with his parents, so no matter what kind of bad words she said, I never retorted. But now I can't stand it. Control your mouth. If you keep talking nonsense, I will call the police and arrest you. The woman's voice suddenly became shrill. How do you talk? I am your mother-in-law. Do you have to talk to your elders like this? I sneered and said. Mother-in-law. Didn't Lin Heng tell you we are about to get divorced? Divorce? Why divorce? I smiled and said, because Lin Heng cheated. Perhaps your son also felt ashamed, so he didn't tell you. She was obviously very angry. So what if a man is a bit of a flirt? Isn't it your fault for not keeping your man? But then she seemed to suddenly realize something. I know you must hate Hung for changing his heart and killed him. My poor child. I was speechless inside and hung up the phone directly. But before hanging up completely, I faintly heard something about retribution. I didn't take it to heart, just thinking she was talking nonsense, but I didn't expect that she would come to the research institute directly. Lin's mother stormed into the research institute with the police, and I was in a big trouble. In front of many of my colleagues, she rudely pointed at me and said, Comrade police, it's her. She admitted to killing my son. I was so angry that I trembled and asked, when did I admit it? Don't make false accusations. Lin's mother sat on the ground directly, wailing loudly. My poor son. He married such a devil and lost his life for nothing. While slapping the ground, she rolled and made a scene on the ground. I had the first impulse to kill someone. The police came up and said helplessly, please come with me. In front of many colleagues, I got into the police car. The police quickly figured out the story. I have nothing to do with Lin Heng's disappearance case. Lin's mother held her head high and said arrogantly, you must be wrong. This woman is a shameless murderer. I won't be wrong. But the investigation showed that when Lin Heng disappeared, I was working overtime in the laboratory. Not only that, the police also found out that Lin Heng's disappearance case is related to Fang Bayi. A group of people set out in a grand manner. Fang Bayi's door was tightly closed, and the police broke in directly. When everyone saw the scene in the room, they were all stunned. The first thing that came into view was a variety of supplies scattered all over the floor. And Lin Heng was wearing a bikini, tied to a chair with hemp rope. He was sobbing desperately, but he couldn't speak because his mouth was sealed. Everyone was stunned. Fang Bayi also came out of the bathroom. He was wet all over, and not only that, he was holding something in his hand. Facing such a hot scene, anyone would think it's a couple playing. I couldn't bear to look away. Lin Heng was released. Lin's mother was completely dumbfounded. Son, what's going on? How can you be with a man? Lin Heng blushed and mumbled, unable to speak. But Fang Bayi was very calm. He said, it's just a hobby between lovers. Lin Heng lowered his head and didn't refute. Now, everyone understood. It turns out that Lin Heng is hiding from his parents and wife to mess around with a male junior. The police educated Lin Heng and Lin's mother with a serious expression. But as soon as the police left, Lin's mother rushed up and slapped Fang Bayi. Damn it, I let you seduce my son. But she is thin and small, and naturally not Fang Bayi's opponent. Fang Bayi also didn't care about his face and started fighting with Lin's mother. Enough! Lin Heng shouted loudly, and Fang Bayi stopped. Lin Heng's eyes were filled with tears, about to cry. Bayi, don't you love me anymore? Why did you hit my mother? This will only make me hate you more. A trace of struggle flashed in Fang Bayi's eyes, but he still said, who let you deceive my feelings first, you bitch? Lin Heng cried more sadly, looking as if he had been wronged. Fang Bayi was distressed. In the blink of an eye, the two hugged each other again. Looking at their affectionate appearance, I just felt that my eyes were burning. But I was really curious, why didn't Lin Heng accuse Fang Bayi of his crimes to the police? I can't believe he would fall in love with Fang Bayi. Thinking this way, I asked it out. Fang Bayi was full of pride. Dare he say it if he dares to say more, his appearance in bed with me will be seen by the whole world. And Lin Heng was pale and silent. I raised my eyebrows, feeling that Fang Bayi took Lin Heng's bed photo. That would make sense. After all, Lin Heng cares about his face most, and losing face is worse than killing him. I'm afraid it was the most embarrassing moment of his life just now. A flash of inspiration came to my mind. I think I know how to get back at him. Seeing the end of the matter, Lin's mother wanted to slip away. I stopped her and said with a smirk, "You made a scene at my research institute, causing me to lose so much face, and you didn't even apologize." She held her neck stiffly, looking unyielding. "I am your mother-in-law, you can bear it a little, can't you?" I sneered and said, "My mother doesn't act like you." Hearing this, Lin's mother immediately got angry, waving her hand at me. I easily restrained her. "Lin Heng, don't you want to reconcile with me? What kind of attitude is this? Your mother bullies me, don't you care?" Lin Heng frowned and yelled at his mother. "Can you stop making a fool of yourself?" He said to me. "Xiao Dai, don't be angry. I will let my mother apologize to you in front of everyone at the research institute tomorrow. Please be generous and forgive her." I nodded, quite reasonable. Disregarding the faces of the rest of the people, I turned and left. I don't know if it's because Lin Heng said something to his mother, but when Lin's mother came to me the next day, her attitude was obviously different. She was ingratiating, rubbing her hands, and fawning over me. "Xiao Dai, I was wrong before, I apologize to you." I raised my eyebrows and said, "Auntie, you are not my mother, let's draw a clear line, okay?" She was obviously embarrassed, but perhaps for the sake of money, she rarely didn't get angry. She nagged like a fly, speaking well of Lin Heng, trying to persuade me not to divorce him. Of course, I didn't listen. "Apologize first." Lin's mother gritted her teeth and humiliatingly apologized to me in front of everyone. I turned and left. "I don't accept it." She was so angry that she almost didn't catch her breath, but she was helpless, and I felt refreshed. Can't stand it yet. The good play is still ahead. Lin Heng's other lover was hidden very strictly, but I still found out. It turned out to be a third-tier little star in the entertainment circle. It seems that the experimental effect is really good. Even such a man who is used to seeing handsome men and beautiful women in the entertainment circle also fell under Lin Heng's suit pants, and this little star debuted with a love-sweet drama, with a lot of girlfriend powder, and the fighting power is also very strong. I'm curious, can his fans accept him as a junior? I directly sold his kissing photos with Lin Heng to the paparazzi. Charismatic, right? It's men who are bewitched, not women. When women are fierce, they are much more powerful than men. The affair between Lin Heng and the little star caused a sensation on the internet, and it was on the hot search for several times. There are scoldings all over the internet. Some scold the little star, and some scold Lin Heng, but obviously more people scold Lin Heng. Damn it, I didn't expect him to be such a person. I was a fan of him. Male Junior 3, it's too explosive. Didn't he say he was a straight man? While the fans are defollowing, they also dug out Lin Heng's personal information. That man is called Lin Heng, right? I know him. I can't believe it, he actually cheated. Damn it, cheating men are more hateful than Junior 3. For several days, Lin Heng was blocked at home by crazy fans, and he didn't dare to go out. At this moment, he was grabbing my collar and roaring crazily. "Did you do it? Did you do it?" I sneered. "Don't blame me for being ruthless. If you didn't cheat first, I wouldn't do this." Lin Heng roared. "If it wasn't for you, would I have taken the back door? The reason I committed myself to those men was to let you live a better life, but you ruined everything." I sneered. "Why now you don't mention the house anymore?" "Oh, right, I almost forgot. You are now in a bad reputation, and you have lost your job." Don't talk about buying a house, even supporting yourself is difficult, right? Lin Heng collapsed completely. He knelt on the ground and held my leg, begging for my forgiveness in tears. Please, Xiao Dai, you can't bear to see me suffer, can you? I have already lost everything, I only have you. I reminded him with a sneer, you still have Feng Ba Yi. Hearing this, Lin Heng's eyes lit up instantly. Ba Yi, yes, I still have Ba Yi. He has found a good job, and he must have money to buy water soldiers. As long as he finds more water soldiers, public opinion can be reversed. He couldn't wait to call Feng Ba Yi, but he didn't expect that Feng Ba Yi would scold him. Lin Heng looked unbelievable. How could it be? Doesn't he love me the most? It's because I love you that I am like this. I looked at him and said, he loves you so much, but you are cheating with other men behind his back. Can you guess, does he want to kill you now? Lin Heng's face changed suddenly. He certainly understood the other meaning in my words. He also cheated on me and had an affair with other men. So, I would also want to kill him. He looked at me in horror and quietly turned his toes to the door. Seeing his defensive appearance, I couldn't help laughing. Why be so scared? I won't really kill you. Now is the 21st century, and murder is illegal, and I don't want to mess with my future. I reminded him, not only will I not, but Feng Ba Yi won't either. He has just found a good job, and his future is bright. How could he ruin his future for you? Lin Heng's face turned green and white. I added a heavy dose. Although you two were messing around together, in the end, only you were ruined. Looking at Lin Heng's increasingly ugly face, I laughed from the bottom of my heart. You are really pitiful. Husband. Lin Heng stood up abruptly. His face was full of anger. Why should I suffer alone? Since I'm not doing well, he shouldn't be doing well either. He ran out angrily. I was satisfied and raised my lips. The farce of the dog biting the dog will start soon. Lin Heng made full use of his charismatic physique and seduced the security uncle at the entrance of the community. Uncle opened the back door and let him out secretly. Tasting the sweetness, Lin Heng fell in love with this feeling. He did the same and successfully avoided the Little Stars fans, all the way to Feng Ba Yi's company. And Feng Ba Yi is no longer the general manager with high status, he is just a new arrival and can only start from an ordinary small clerk. No one expected that Lin Heng would come to Feng Ba Yi to make trouble. Due to the previous kissing photos of Lin Heng and the little star, many people have seen his face. Now Lin Heng is a hot topic, and basically no one doesn't know him. Some onlookers took a video and posted it on the internet. In the picture, Lin Heng grabbed Feng Ba Yi's collar and threw a punch. Even if Feng Ba Yi loves Lin Heng deeply, he can't stand being provoked after being betrayed by the other party. He fought back directly. In the blink of an eye, the two were fighting together. Since Lin Heng obtained the charismatic physique, he became more and more delicate, and his small body couldn't beat Feng Ba Yi. In the end, someone secretly called the police. When the police arrived, Lin Heng had been beaten half to death. Feng Ba Yi was on top of him, his eyes red. Bitch, I let you seduce men, I let you betray me. Lin Heng struggled and spat on Feng Ba Yi's face. Feng Ba Yi's face suddenly darkened. This is you forcing me. He took out a stack of photos from his pocket, and when he waved his hand, the photos fell down one after another. The photos were all of various angles and postures of Lin Heng's bed photos. Lin Heng completely collapsed. Even though he had been entangled with several men for money, he was still a straight man, and still a man who wanted to save face. But now, everyone has seen his most embarrassed appearance. His eyes were red, and he directly picked up the ashtray and smashed it on Feng Ba Yi's head. In an instant, blood gushed out. Murder, murder. The police rushed up and separated the two. Lin Heng was handcuffed and taken to the police station, while Feng Ba Yi was taken to the hospital. After 4 hours of rescue, Feng Ba Yi was finally out of danger. The first thing he did after waking up was to save Lin Heng from the detention center. People were shocked, and netizens who understood the story also scolded him for being in love with his brain. I was not surprised by his decision at all. After all, he still loves Lin Heng. He couldn't watch Lin Heng go to jail. But if Lin Heng's charismatic physique fails, it's not certain. I chuckled and pressed the button on the console. Ding, successful. 3 hours later, the charismatic physique will be removed from the experimental subject. I smiled with satisfaction. 3 hours later is Lin Heng's death. 2 hours after pressing the button, I received a help message from Lin Heng. Help me, save me, Fang Bayi wants to kill me. I looked at my watch in doubt. It's not time yet, but soon. I figured it out. Love turns into hate. Fang Bayi was betrayed by Lin Heng, abandoned by Lin Heng, and hit by Lin Heng with a cigarette ashtray, head broken and blood flowing. He is now probably full of hatred for Lin Heng. And the reason why he didn't send Lin Heng to jail is probably because he wanted to personally end Lin Heng. How could I miss such a good play? I hurried to the hospital. In the ward, Fang Bayi was lying on the bed, and Lin Heng was sitting on the side, carefully peeling an apple for him. The atmosphere between the two could even be described as peaceful, but upon closer inspection, one could see that Lin Heng's hands were trembling slightly. Fang Bayi looked at Lin Heng greedily and asked, "Do you love me?" Lin Heng's hand twitched, and the blade of the knife immediately cut his finger. He forced a smile and said, "Love, how could I not love you?" Fang Bayi sneered and mercilessly exposed him. "You only love money." He sighed, "But even so, I still love you." "But if you don't love me, what should we do?" He laughed. "Then let's go to hell together, so you won't seduce other men anymore." Lin Heng was almost scared to death. I stepped forward and realized that Fang Bayi's other hand was tightly holding a lighter, and their lower bodies were covered in a moist, pungent liquid. That was gasoline. My breath was stifled. I'm not afraid of these two beasts dying together. What I'm afraid of is the fire spreading to other parts of the hospital and hurting other innocent people. I glanced at my watch. There were still 20 minutes left before the charismatic physique would fail. I had to persuade Fang Bayi down in these 20 minutes. "Do you want to know why you fell in love with Lin Heng?" Fang Bayi frowned and said, "Xiao Heng is so beautiful and gentle and considerate. Is it strange for me to fall in love with him?" I shook my head with a smile. It's not strange to fall in love with him, but it's strange to suddenly fall in love with him. 2 years ago, when I just confirmed the relationship with Lin Heng, I managed to arrange for him to work at Chu's company. It's been 2 years since you've been working together, right? Why didn't you notice him in the past 2 years, but now you're madly in love with him? Seeing that I was about to reveal the truth, Lin Heng exclaimed, "Are you crazy?" I ignored him and said to Fang Bayi, "Let me tell you the answer. Because I helped Lin Heng awaken the charismatic physique." Fang Bayi looked incredulous. I raised my eyebrows and said, "Don't believe it." I looked at my watch and said, "There are 20 minutes left before Lin Heng's charismatic physique fails. You can wait and see." Fang Bayi sneered and said, "Okay, 20 minutes, I can afford to wait. If it's true, it'll kill you too after 20 minutes. After all, it's you who made me fall to this point." I smiled and didn't say a word. He still didn't understand. He and Lin Heng fell to this point, which can only be blamed on themselves. If they had held the bottom line and not done anything out of line, everything would not have happened. All of this is their own fault. Time passed second by second, and in a blink of an eye, it was 18 minutes, and there were only 2 minutes left before the charismatic physique failed. As soon as 18 minutes passed, I got up and ran. Lin Heng and Fang Bayi were dumbfounded. "Why are you running? It's not 20 minutes yet." I ran desperately to the top of the building while shouting, "Am I not running to wait for you to kill me?" Fang Bayi reacted instantly, "Right, I still have to kill you, the culprit." He got up fiercely and chased me like crazy. Lin Heng wanted to take the opportunity to escape, but Fang Bayi noticed. Fang Bayi grabbed him and dragged him to chase me. In less than 2 minutes, we all appeared on the rooftop. At this moment, I seemed to suddenly hear a ding sound. Fang Bayi was stunned. He looked at Lin Heng in disbelief. "Why, don't I love you anymore?" I sneered and said, "Of course, it's because the charismatic physique has failed." Upon hearing this, Lin Heng suddenly collapsed in relief. He thought he had escaped a disaster. After the charismatic physique failed, Fang Bayi no longer loved him, and naturally, he would not want to die with him. But the murderous intent in Fang Bayi's eyes became even stronger. I knew what he was thinking. Lin Heng was a stain on his life. After his love for Lin Heng disappeared, he naturally wanted Lin Heng, the stain, to disappear. In Lin Heng's fearful gaze, he threw out the lighter. Boom, a loud noise, and the fire soared into the sky. The two, covered in gasoline, instantly became two fire people. And I rushed to the railing and jumped down without hesitation. The soft cushion caught me. 20 minutes was enough for the firefighters to lay a rescue air cushion downstairs. I was unharmed. Fortunately, I had led Lin Heng and Fang Bayi to the open rooftop in advance, so there were no casualties other than the two of them. Lin Heng was burned to death. Although Fang Bayi was rescued at the time, he was severely burned all over. He only lasted 2 days in it before he died completely. And when Lin's mother learned that her son had an accident, she fainted. When she woke up, she had become a fool. Her husband unhesitatingly abandoned her, and she was left on the street, living by picking up garbage. Once a girl approached, she grabbed her hand and kept repeating the same sentence. "What's wrong with a man being a bit flirtatious? Did you have to drive my son to death?" People ran away quickly. 3 months later, she committed suicide on the top floor of the hospital. At that time, the charismatic physique experiment had been a complete success. As the main researcher, I won many awards and became a hot new star in the scientific research community. I moved back home and lived with my mom. After what happened with Lin Heng, I finally understood a truth, that is, to listen to my mother. Although my mom is also a love brain. But living with my mom is better than being with a scum man. Before meeting a truly excellent man, I won't fall in love easily. After all, my time is precious, and I can't afford to waste a bit on men. I will usher in my own bright and brilliant life.